Wendy is going to share her best tips
right here
on how to find new customers. So please give her a very warm welcome.
So I write some notes and they talk about a lot of stuff, so I started changing where I'm going to talk about a little bit as we go, just because that's how I am. They never know I'm a loose cannon always. So I wanted to say my husband's the one who joined Scentsy in 2008. He's actually the first Scentsy SuperStar Director, who's a boy. So just so you know, that's his claim to fame. Anyway, I want you guys to raise your hand if you struggle to find customers. Okay, so the rest of you guys are good. You don't need, all right, well you guys just like play Candy Crush or something while I do this, right? So my husband and I, we joined in 2008, or he joined and then suckered me into helping him with the business, and we built it up so much that over time I was sending out basket parties everywhere around the country and into Canada, and by 2012, he was able to retire from his job, and we became full-time Scentsy consultants. That was our entire full-time income, all right? And so that was awesome, and over time we started earning trips. We went all over the place, and my husband and I were like, God, being home sucks. You know, like you started going on all these trips, and we're like, God, life is so much more black and white and gray, doing the same thing, going to the same places, having the same lunches with the same ladies. And so we were like, how can we take our business on the road? Well, thankfully, my husband and I are nerds, and we built, online blogging, things like that. And I have, like he was the consultant, but he was always working on weekends. And when did people have parties? Weekends. So he's like, hey, Wendy, I got a party for you. So I'd have to go in people's houses, and I hated that. Like, I have no problem being up on a stage, but being in someone's intimate little house, it's like, ugh, I want to vomit. And so I did everything I could to not do that. And so we sent basket parties everywhere, we were doing things online, everything like that. And so we built, without realizing it, a tool for us to travel the world and still run our Scentsy business. And so in 2015, we decided we were going to sell everything we own, travel the world with our 2 teenagers who hated us for it at the time. Especially our son, he cried every night for 6 months, for real. And he was 14, and our daughter was 18 and just graduated high school. And we sold everything we owned, and starting September 1st, 2016, we started traveling the world. Over that time, we traveled for 1.5 years, got pregnant with our now 7-year-old, and to the horror of our children. And our oldest daughter's watching our son right now. And we went to, since 2016, we've been to 39 countries on 4 continents. And yes, woo! But the reason I'm telling you all this isn't to be like, Wendy is awesome. It's not. It's to tell you that while we were traveling, we were in places where people don't speak English. And so you can imagine, when you're trying to find, customers, right? Maybe, hopefully they speak English. But imagine not having the people skills to talk to people who already speak English, but much less going to other countries trying to figure out how to talk to people, because we only had each other. If we wanted to go potty in another country, we had to figure out how to talk to people. We had to ask someone, or we're going to explode, where's the restroom? One time Sean asked where the restroom was in England, and they're like, there's a bench right there if you need to rest. For real. That was in a Sainsbury, I think is what it was, in a grocery store. And so you had to learn toilet, you had to learn lingo, you had to talk to people to figure things out. And if you weren't comfortable talking to people, you talk to nobody, right? You have to, everywhere you go, you have to talk to people. You have to order food, everything, right? It's the same thing for all of you guys. Everywhere you are, you have to talk to people, right? So that's first. So I'm getting to my point. So I like to tell stories, and when we went to Sri Lanka, we went to little flea markets, and does anyone know what a fashion bug is? Okay, well, the fashion bug in Sri Lanka is like a fancy store. So for every person who walks in, you are given 3 salespeople to tail you. And everywhere you go, you're like, oh, look at this. Do you want it? What size do you want it in? What do you? And you're like, holy cow. like, I need to leave. We all felt like we were hunted. We were prey, right? So when you guys talk to people, right, do you want people to look at you like, oh, you're up in my business, like you're in my face? You want people to like come to you, want to talk to you. You don't want to be like looking at them like they're targets, right? Like I'm looking at Anna like, hey Anna, how you doing? Do you like Scentsy? Do you know what Scentsy is? I like Scentsy. Would you like some Scentsy? Here's my catalog, Anna. Like that's weird, isn't it? Like that's creepy, that's ugh. I want to be like, I'm good, Anna. Nice to see you, never again. You know? So when you guys are talking to people, you do not want to be weird. You want to find easy ways to talk to people. So on this stage, you've been listening to them talk about, oh, getting customers. So since they've talked about this, do you guys all know how to talk to people and make them customers? Or do you need a little help still? Okay, here's how you do it. All right, so they're telling you, tell everyone you're a Scentsy consultant. Make sure everybody knows you're a Scentsy consultant. But when you meet people at the dog park, and you got your dog and they got their dog, and you're talking, you're just like trying to figure out how to start conversation, should you lead with, here's a Scentsy catalog, we have pet products. No, that's weird, you guys. Like you're freaking people out doing that stuff. It's weird. When you go to a soccer game, and your kids are playing soccer, my son's in indoor soccer right now, I got swim stuff, I got dance stuff I'm doing with him. If I go up to everybody and like, hey, I'm Wendy, I'm Sebastian's mom, I sell Scentsy. I don't know you, do you know what Scentsy is? And also, when you say Scentsy, do people look at you weird like, what the heck's a Scentsy? Nobody knows what the heck a Scentsy is. So when people ask you, okay, I want 3 volunteers. When someone asks you what you do for a living, just stand up real quick and shout what you tell them, okay? Anyone raise your hand? Okay, stand up and shout, what do you do for a living?
I'm a fragrance specialist.
That's a nice one. Okay, anyone else want to take it? What? She's a fragrance specialist. Sorry, I don't pay attention. Squirrel. So you never, like anyone in here, a doctor, nurse, attorney, engineer, anything that has some clout to it, forget that. You are not an engineer. You are not a teacher. I have a candle business. I have a scented cleaning product company. Anything else you guys can think of that you could do for Scentsy? I sell essential oils. If you guys have people that ask you what you do for a living, right? And you say, oh, I'm a teacher. Awesome, that's great you're a teacher, but you're not making any extra money from telling them you're a teacher, are you? No. All right, so there's this little game that I taught my first Scentsy Spring Sprint was in Oregon, I think in 2011 and 2012, and it's this little game. I don't know if any of you guys were there when I did this, but it's called, I just forgot what it's called. I didn't forget. Yeah, squirrel. This is squirrel stuff, and I'm getting older too, you know what I mean? Like, all right, so it's basically a game like where you cannot tell someone what you do for a living unless you get them to ask you what you do for a living. You're not allowed to ever tell anyone what you do unless they ask you. Kind of like that hunter-prey stuff. You want to be hunted. You are no longer the hunter. You attract people by your mystery and by your communication skills, okay? So you are gonna go up to people at the dog park and you're gonna say, oh my God, that is such a cute little pug. How old is he? What's his name? And then hopefully they're gonna look at you and go, oh, your dog's cute too. What's your dog's name, right? My dog's Susie. And Susie is a cockalier and she's very friendly. And then you're gonna say, oh, do you live nearby? I haven't seen you here at this dog park before. They're gonna say, oh yeah, I live over in that building over there. Oh, cool. And then you're waiting for them to ask you where you live. Do you live nearby? Hopefully they wanna talk. And you have to understand like those social cues, right? Like if they don't wanna talk, like you don't just say, all right, you're not moving fast enough for me. Hey, I sell Scentsy. You gotta be chill, guys. You gotta get people to talk to you and want to engage with you. So you wanna figure out ways to continue talking to people, right? No?
Right, right.
Yeah? All right. Okay. So let's say you're talking to somebody or let's say you're just standing in line at the grocery store. And you see something in someone's cart. A lot of booze, let's say. And you say, wow, are you having a party? And they're like, no. They are fun. And they have a lot of alcohol to have a party, don't they?
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Okay, so you understand, like you just want to start basic conversations with people, and eventually you say, what do you do for a living? Right? Everything is to lead up for you to start conversations and actually just practice your people skills. How many of you guys after COVID feel like you're like, I don't know how to talk to people? I mean, I'm a talker, and I still or had really awkward conversations. So you guys have to figure out how to talk to people in like a normal way first. And so that means talking to everyone in the elevator and in the stairs, the people around here, cleaning up, doing the garbage. Talk to them. Say hi, thank you for doing your job. Not everyone is someone that you're gonna end up having that conversation with today, like, here's a catalog, right? You want to just practice those people skills, and the more you guys open yourself up and the more you guys talk to people and practice communicating, the easier it is going to be able to like let other people talk so you're listening. So like if someone says something like, oh, my dog is Charles, my pug, and I love him so much, and then they don't stop talking about their pug, Charles. They don't even ask you about Susie, my adorable little dog, right? They just want to talk about themselves. So you just keep asking them questions, because the more you talk to people and ask them about themselves, how much more do they like you? They like you a lot, right? They like you a lot. Because you like to be able to talk about yourself, right? I'm a talker. When someone wants to listen to me, I like all of you. You guys are all listening to me talk, right? So you want people to want to talk to you. You do not want to be pushing people away by your vomit of it's just gross and icky, right? All right, so I'm going to be uploading for all of you guys this one document, there are two documents actually, all right? And I'm going to put them up on the World Tour site, and they're going to be links. And it's going to talk to you about how to talk to everybody. And it's not just about customers. Everyone you talk to could be a part of your business. All right? So you want customers, but you also want people to refer business to you. How many times do you get people who say, I'm allergic to scents? What do you guys say to that?
Sorry.
No. You know what you say? You say, oh my God, so many people are so sensitive nowadays. That's why we have warmers that you don't actually have to put scents into. You can just have them like home decor around your house. You never even have to put any scents into them. They're like lamps that you leave on all day long, right? Boom. Or are they allergic to light? Oh, guess what? If you're allergic to light, we have element warmers. Right? You need to learn to become bulletproof so that everyone can refer to you. Everyone can be like, oh, you're allergic to scents. Well, but you need a new light. Wendy has lights, but you don't have to put scents in them. Right? Okay, they have a stinky dog. You don't just want to lead with, your dog smells like butt. Right? But when we're selling our Scentsy, pet line of products and they come back in and out, you're like, hey, I have a sample here for you. Because we've talked before about how much you love your dog, and your dog has like a bark problem or whatever the problem, or they like to roll in that dead stuff. When your dog rolls in the dead stuff and then you're like, oh, the dead stuff, right? You can bring them samples. You remember that person and you always want to just keep thinking about them and what they like, okay? So you want referrals, you want customers, You want people to want to join your business, right? So if you have to word vomit and say, does anyone want to do that with you? No. I don't want to do that. That sucks, right? That's weird. Ugh. I'm running from you like the people in Sri Lanka, fashion bug. No, thank you. So you guys want to entice people, you want to make it fun. You don't want to make it seem like it is so much work and effort to do this. When I first started, I remember seeing people who had so much stuff that they would drag into a party. They had boxes and boxes and boxes, and you're like, God, I'm too lazy for that. Like, that is a lot of work. That's not enticing to people when you're coming into their house with you want to make it simple, light, fun, easy. Talking to people should be easy, right? I mean, like when you guys are all talking to each other, is it weird or is it easy? Is it a little vomity? Like, do you feel a little icky? That's why you need to practice. You need to practice talking to people. Talk to everybody. Compliment someone on their hair. And then once you talk to somebody and you get them to ask you what you do for a living, and you say, I have a candle business, or whatever it is you want to say, whatever part of the product line, I have a fragrance business, because that encompasses everything, right? Then you must have a sample with you. All right, you can have cute little bags, you can have them in a Ziploc bag, you can have whatever kind of samples you want. But once you get someone and you have an opportunity to give them something to entice them, if you don't have something like this little prize drawing slip to get their information, how are you going to contact them to follow up with them? How are they going to be your customer? Becca Levi taught me many years ago, I don't know if you know who Becca Levi is, but she's awesome. She calls these like lottery tickets. And every time you talk to somebody, you have samples with you everywhere you go, and you have samples from every scent. And every single day, you should have a goal to have one of these with you and scents. So I have another bag of scents, because you're going to talk to someone, and what if someone doesn't like clean scents? What if someone only likes food scents, but all you brought is clothesline? You gotta have some blueberry cheesecake up in there, right? You gotta dig in your little bag and be like, what kind of scent do you like? I have all kinds of scents. That way they can't be like, yeah, no, I don't like those kinds of scents, right? Then what you say is, can I give you a sample just to try? I'm just trying to, get more people, to smell our scents. Not everybody knows about Scentsy. And would you be willing to just give me your contact information? I can follow up with you and see what you thought of it. And also, I have a free drawing where I give away a freebie every month. People love freebies. Don't you guys like freebies? You have them fill this out, and you call everybody wins. They don't need to know you're a liar. Everybody wins. But if you guys don't have these little slips, I'm going to put them on the website for you guys. But if you guys don't have slips like this, how are you going to pull people's information? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
All right. Well, I have the document that I'm going to load. It tells you conversations that you can have with people. It'll tell you how to talk to anybody to get them to have a party, to kind of be bulletproof, and to even set up parties and to get more customers through those parties and everything. All right? I think my time was up, right? Yeah, my time was up. Yeah.